Probably not the list Chicago wants to be at the top of, but a new report from the University of Illinois at Chicago says the Chicago metro area is ranking as the most corrupt city in the country. The findings are based on the number of federal corruption convictions between 1976 and 2017. In that period, Chicago had more than 1,700 convictions. In second place was Los Angeles, followed by Manhattan and Miami. I'm Ken Molestina, CBS Chicago.
Okay, Brandon Johnson, Mohawk, panic attack, Brandon Johnson, mayor of Chicago, woke mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. He's keeping in line with that old saying about Chicago, the most corrupt city in the country, a city filled with filthy sleazebag politicians looking for personal gain and nothing else. And it's been going on for decades, so we're just going to look at the latest examples. We all know about the illegal immigrant issue going on in the country, the massive crisis with illegal aliens being invited into the country by Joe Biden. So one way for states like Texas to combat this crisis is to send them to these blue cities, these blue states, these areas that claim, oh, come one, come all. If you're against illegal immigration, you're just a bigot. There's nothing wrong at all. So they've been going to places like New York, places like Chicago, and these places have been forced to accept these people. But the Democrats in these cities, even though they spent a ton of money, stole money from the taxpayers, gave it to illegal immigrants, people who are not even part of the country, they found a silver lining in this dark cloud that's been hitting them because it's going to hurt them badly in the election. But they found this silver lining, and that silver lining is corruption. That silver lining is to get paid. I talked months ago about Eric Adams, how much money was being laundered, how much money was being spent over there in New York, how they spent $50-some million to give debit cards, free money to gangs, because when they give these cards to the normal everyday illegal immigrant, the gang members are just going to take the cards from them. But they spent $50-some million, stole their money from the New York sucker taxpayers. They spent billions of dollars on shelter, hotels, all that. If you own a hotel, piece of property like that, you are raking in the cash. These people love illegal immigration for good reason. If you own an old field, like it was some old field over there from some old chemical plant back in the day, wasn't making any money at all, just some old wasted property, and New York just said, okay, we'll pay for it. So they're getting paid. Laundry service, people that the mayor may or not know, people in the mayor's office, they're connected to their family members, their friends. They own a laundry service, a food service. They're making millions and millions of dollars servicing illegal immigrants. And this is going on in Chicago too. So the silver lining is, yes, we have to be woke. We have to save face by letting these illegal immigrants flood our cities and spending money on them. Yeah, our taxpayers are going to lose out. House prices are going to rise and crime is going to rise in the city, but we can get paid out of it. So we're going to look at a video about Brandon Johnson, his endeavors, what's been going on with this corrupt ass mayor. Yet another corrupt mayor of the city of Chicago, because it looks like a lot of people have been getting paid while the taxpayers in Chicago have been suckered. And before we start the video, I just want to mention another few individuals from Chicago. Tiffany Hanyard, the super mayor, she's in the suburbs of Chicago stealing money. She's in charge of 2 cities, 2 suburbs of Chicago, and is getting paid like it's no tomorrow. And also she's using taxpayer money to fund her re-election campaign. Then we remember the infamous governor of Chicago back in the day when Obama was elected president, Rob Blagojevich, or whatever the hell his name was. He tried to sell Obama's seat because when a Senate seat is vacant, the governor of Illinois has to appoint someone to take that seat until the next election. So Blagojevich said, you know what, I'm not just going to do my job and appoint somebody like I'm supposed to do. I'm going to sell it. So somebody needs to give me some money if they want to be an Illinois senator. He went to prison. Jesse Jackson Jr., just like his corrupt ass father, he was a congressman representing the Chicago area. Stole campaign money, over $700,000, I believe, went to prison. Rahm Emanuel, he escaped prison, but he was corrupt as hell, running cover for cops, all type of corruption going on in the police department. He was complete bought and paid for politicians by a lot of lobbyists out there. And here we are with Brandon Johnson. Let's take a look at this clip here.
Now to NBC5 investigates, which for months has followed the money trail tied to Chicago's migrant mission. Total spending now tops more than $400 million.
Now, despite the creation of a city spending website, it's still not exactly clear where all of that money has gone. In this follow-up report, investigative reporter Bennett Haberly uncovers some new information not shared by the city.
Consider these numbers. More than 6,000 people still live in city-run migrant shelters. That means costs are still adding up. Since August of 2022, the city of Chicago has spent more than $400 million, according to the city's spending website. Nearly $253 million went to one private company, Kansas-based Favorite Healthcare Staffing.
Who is this? Who do they know? What's their connection to the mayor, to the mayor's office? Congressman from Illinois. What's their connection? Why is this company getting so much of this money? Over $250 million, $250 million going to some company, some mystery company. Who the hell are these people? All I know is they've turned this illegal immigrant crisis into a full-blown money laundering scheme. And it's crazy how quickly they were able to do this, because it shows how corrupt they are. These weasels always know a way to steal money from people.
Which staffs the shelters. Another $76 million went to Equitable Social Solutions.
What? What the hell does that even mean? Equitable Social Solutions? Sounds woke as hell. It sounds like one of them companies that says, nah, we don't like white men. Yeah, we'll go to bed with the white man, which is what all these black women do who claim that they don't like the white man, like Kamala Harris, for example. But they don't want white men involved. They don't want white men involved in any type of management position, anything where they have authority, any position where they're getting paid, where it be the face. So they're just going to have, what, black gay people? Because that's usually what this means. Equitable means black and gay. So I'm curious, who the hell are these people? Who do they know? What's their connection to Brandon Johnson? $76 million, almost $77 million?
That company partnered with another called ReloShare, which helped identify and sign lease agreements with property owners of the buildings that eventually became the migrant shelters.
That's where a number of those leases are.
But when we asked the city months ago for copies of these lease agreements, we were given just 9 out of 27. The use of these private companies has helped mask from public view where the public dollars have flowed. What we didn't know until now is how much the property owners of the migrant shelters were earning. But thanks to a new lawsuit, we're being provided some more clarity. A lending company filed this lawsuit last month against 2 Chicago developers, alleging they did not make it clear when they signed a loan agreement that the building in the West Loop would be used to house migrants. What is not in dispute is that the owners of the Ogden shelter are paid $150,000 a month by ReloShare as part of a use agreement. That means in a year's time, they'd receive more than $1.8 million.
Wow. Like I said, these property owners, they love illegal immigration. They're saying, please, just flood the country, please, because we had a piece of property over here, not making any money, just sitting here collecting dust. Nobody wanted some old run-down building. But you suckers have let your city be flooded with illegal immigrants, and now you need somewhere for them to stay because you didn't think ahead, you had no idea, and all of a sudden we're making nearly $2 million in lease fees off of this building. Please let these illegal immigrants continue to come. And it's a damn shame that the people had to sue just to get access to what's going on with their own money, with the taxpayer money in Chicago.
The lease agreement also calls for additional payments of up to $400,000 if the number of migrants inside the Ogden shelter exceeds 650.
Wow.
The latest figures show.
You see, that's what I meant. They're incentivized to have more. Please let more come. So you're paying us $150,000 a month to house 650 people, free rent. 650 people, free rent. $150,000 a month stolen from the sucker taxpayers in Chicago because they voted for this. So that's why I call them suckers. And if they exceed 650, they can push up to $400,000. Whew.
More than 700 people still live here.
If there are public dollars involved, shouldn't the public know where they flow?
100%.
Back in March, Alderman Andre Vasquez, the chair of the City Council's Migrant Committee, told us aldermen themselves have had a hard time accounting for all the spending.
That's still the question that's out there.
When we attempted to ask Mayor Brandon Johnson about this at the time, he said this.
Again, we're meeting you right where you are.
Were it not for this new lawsuit, the public would have no idea how much these property owners are earning.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
We pressed the mayor about this last week and asked if he would consider adding the information to the city's website. He said this.
We have given an accurate account of how dollars have been spent.
That's it? Is there anything that would preclude your administration from sharing that level of detail?
There's no information that has been kept from you.
Johnson then reiterated talking point how he's renegotiating.
So he's just lying right to our faces. Clearly, these people couldn't get access to most of the lease agreements. They couldn't find out where the money was going. You asked the mayor. He said, no, we gave you everything. That's called gaslighting, isn't it?
Negotiated contracts to save taxpayer money and how Congress has failed to provide additional financial relief. He also doubled down, incorrectly stating that all spending information is available.
That information is available to you, sir.
Not all of it, though, is.
Incorrectly stating or lying?
Just did. The Ogden shelter in the West Loop, that's what is spelled out in this lawsuit, that they get $150,000 just for being the property owner per month. Nowhere is that available on the city's spending website. My question, again, is simply, is there anything that would preclude you from including that level of detail? You guys have said you're transparent. Why not show it?
All of the information related to this spending to this mission is available.
That's where we left it. We have checked over and over again to see if additional information was added to the city's website. If it is, we'll let you know. Bennett Haberly, NBC5.
Yeah, so that's the thing about this city. Filled with corrupt-ass politicians. Now, Brandon Johnson, I'm not totally sure he's the mastermind behind this operation. I don't think he is. He's always looking nervous, looks like he's wanting to cry. He's having these panic attacks, being hospitalized because the job is so stressful for him. He don't know what to do. I don't know if he's the mastermind. I think somebody is pulling the strings, maybe the larger DNC, the larger Democrat Party, because as I stated before, these Democrat mayors are not in charge of their own cities. They don't get to dictate policy like back in the day. New York, Denver, LA, all of these big Democrat cities, they're not making decisions. The mayor is more of a manager, a figurehead for shadowy ass corrupt figures running in the background. But somebody in his administration is helping run money. They're getting paid a lot. He just got exposed recently for spending $30,000 in 1 year on grooming, on hair and makeup. Now, if a politician is using campaign funds to groom himself, to buy a new suit, to pay a barber, to pay a makeup artist because they need to go out in public and appeal to an audience, okay, that's good. But your staff, your drivers, the people with you, your assistants, you paying for them? No, that's corrupt. They need to pay for whatever they need for their own job. Or Brandon Johnson can pay it out of his own pocket, but you can't use campaign funds because the donors aren't giving you money for that. Also, they squeezed into the budget recently $500,000, $500,000 stolen from the taxpayers again to do a reparations study. This is a full-blown sucker move that Democrats pull on black people every year. We're going to do a study on reparations. We know it's been a century and a half. We know all the information, but we need to spend money to study what the reparations will do, how they will affect the city, how the community will handle the money. We need to spend money just to talk about what will happen. Not actually give reparations, just to talk about it. And black people fall for a hook, line, and sinker, but that's a different story. Brandon Johnson is corrupt. He's not the mastermind behind it, but these people are getting paid. Millions and millions of dollars, actually billions of dollars, gone. The silver lining that they found, even though they don't want the illegal immigrants there, the city is being torn apart. Division is hitting the city really hard. A lot of people saying, get these people the hell out of there. And the response is, well, you're just racist. Crime is up in the city. People selling box, people getting kidnapped, people being deleted, people being raped by illegal immigrants. And Chicago is blue as hell. They're going to vote for Joe Biden again in droves. And they're going to vote for someone like Brandon Johnson. I don't know how long he's going to be in office, but we had corrupt-ass Beetlejuice Lori Lightfoot in there. They got rid of her and replaced her with Brandon Johnson. This shows you the Chicago voters. So it's almost to the point where there's no hope for them, but I don't know if they're that far gone yet. But let me know what you guys think. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.